with both of those?
I am.
So why is not fused human chromosome number 2? Why is that not compelling to you?
Any chromosome is more complicated than the space shuttle. You're an electronics engineer. For heaven's sake, I mean, you know, complicated things do not just happen. How many things could go wrong in a computer to make it stop working? How many simple things, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's mind-boggling. It's complex.
Okay, well, if someone wants to believe it happened by chance over billions of years with no directing process, they can certainly believe that, but that's not science. Nobody's observed that. To me,
yeah, but it's kind of like if you saw footsteps outside or a crime scene situation, you may not know how it happened, but the fact that those footprints there show that it did happen, and that's what the fused human chromosome is that there's vestigial telomeres and a vestigial centromere. That seems like that makes no sense. If God made humans from scratch, he wouldn't. Why would he put in vestigial DNA?
well, first, I don't think we know all the uses of the DNA, and it could be something that's simply broken. I had a car once that had an air conditioner that didn't work, but the designer designed it with one, and it worked when it came off the assembly line, but it quit working somewhere along the line. So the fact, if humans have DNA telomeres or whatever that no longer work, that's not evidence for evolution. That's evidence that we're a degraded 40,000th generation from Adam.
Well, the way it works is that chromosomes have telomeres on the end,
right,
and these two chromosomes attached. So in the middle now you have two telomeres where you don't need a telomere, and because you don't need them, now they're vestigial. And then each chromosome also has one centromere. It needs one center, and since they're joined, it now has two centers. So the other one is totally not needed as a centromere anymore, so it's vestigial.
well,
So
I think if you look, hang on, if you look at the argument from,
why would God create that from scratch?
oh, I don't know that he did. Maybe Adam and Eve didn't have it, and maybe it is something that happened somewhere along the line. Maybe just like, you know, my car air conditioning quit working. Okay, well, it was working when they sold it to me. It quit working later. So, you know, we are X number of generations from Adam. So to say, hey, this is now broken, therefore there was no original Adam, that's a silly argument.
Well, it's not that it's broken. It's just that, like I said, the telomeres are on the ends, and now when they join head to head, you don't need them in the middle anymore, and that's why they're not used. I mean, what is that code? It's obviously a telomere. There's no reason for that. And the reason why we know these two genes or these two chromosomes came together is because we can see the same like genes on the chimp, who is our cousin. We can see the genes there, so they all perfectly line up.
So why do you think the chimps are our cousins? Because they have similar genes? Does that make them?
Well, this is one of the examples of why we think they're cousins, is because of the way the DNA lines up.
Are there any lines of code from Microsoft Word that are used exactly in Microsoft PowerPoint? I mean, how many lines of code are identical?
It's possible.
I think there are probably many thousands of lines of code. Why would they rewrite the whole code for every new program? Any programmer is going to reuse as many lines of code as he can that have already been written. So there are probably a lot of things.
I work at a high technology company, and we make these advanced computer chips, and it's, you know, we try to reuse a lot of stuff, but it is amazing how, because we make such great advances, we do have to like write. There is a lot of new stuff going into each one, but there is also a lot of carryover. Yeah.
Well, that's precisely the point.
Carryover, I'm not sure what the point is, because the carryover seems to prove evolution.
The carryover in the stuff that you do happens by intelligent choice. You choose to carry over X number of lines of code into the new program to save time or whatever. It would be logical for the creator to use similar lines of code in the DNA and similar chromosome structure and similar lots of things. For one thing, we couldn't eat other animals if we couldn't digest them and use anything out of them. You know, the fact that the brown cow can eat the green grass and make the white milk, and I can drink it and get the blonde hair, that's pretty amazing. That's intelligent design at its best. God's thinking ahead. Let's make these out of similar materials so they're digestible. I guess I don't comprehend at all how that proves evolution. You lost me totally.
Well, I guess the thing I'm trying to understand is with this, if God, like I said, I work at a company. We make these advanced chips. We do not build in chips with junk and old baggage and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, it's obvious that there's a fused chromosome in humans. I mean, are you denying that it's a fused chromosome?
I don't know. I know that 100 years ago there were 180 vestigial organs on the list, things we don't need anymore. They've now reduced that list to 0. Could it be that we simply don't know the function of it yet, or that it serves as a space holder for something else? If it is a broken gene, which it may indeed be, or a broken section of a chromosome, how does a broken air conditioner on a car prove nobody made it? It's quite.
Yeah, the broken gene argument is actually a little different. That's a pseudogene argument. This is more of seeing how it's assembled. Basically, like you say, if you have a car, if somebody says, "Hey, Ken, let me show you my cool hot rod I bought," and you look at it and you can say, like, "Oh wow, I can see the chassis is from a Chevy and I can see the bed is from a Ford." That's kind of what's going on here. Is we can see how things were plastered together. It's like, well, what's this other piece on here? Well, that was just leftover. The Ford had it, but we don't use it, so it's just hanging around. But if it was created from scratch, you wouldn't. I mean, that doesn't make sense if there's an intelligent designer.
Okay, so your argument would be because we do not currently understand chromosome number 2, the use of some things, and we are assuming that it is indeed useless information or useless baggage. Therefore, there is no designer. Does that summarize your argument fairly?
No, what I'm trying to say is we know what a telomere is. They're the end codes on a chromosome, and when these two chromosomes got together, they fused in the center, and therefore those telomeres are not used. And because they're not used, now they're just vestigial. So we know what they were. They had an actual function. You can tell what they were, and now they're totally not needed, of course, and so it's all degraded.
And therefore, no.
Basically, we know where it was used before, and it's not using that function anymore. So it's obvious it's a fusion event. And
Okay.
if it's a fusion event, you're just trying to figure out why is God cobbling things together instead of just doing things. If he made humans from scratch like you're proposing, it seems like it would have been a clean design instead of smacking chromosomes together.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
When was this chromosome fusion discovered? When did they discover that these two are chromosome 2 has these telomeres fused together?
Well, I heard it was about in the year 2000 when they got the actual code because they started decoding the genome. But I actually had a printout from like 1985 where they were showing a lot of the genes and they could see there was a fusion event there. But I think it was like since the year 2000 they got the actual code. They know the actual fusion event, the actual DNA coding at that section there.
Okay, could the fusion event have occurred then in 1984?
No, it's because all humans have it.
Okay, so could it have occurred in 1824, or could it have occurred 2,000 years ago in time for all humans to get it?
Well, no. This is actually like the Denisovan, the Neanderthal, and the humans all have this fused human chromosome, and like the orangutan, the chimp doesn't.
How do you know the Neanderthals have it? Do they find that in the bones?
They got it from the DNA. I'm not sure where they got the DNA from.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
The Denisovan, I think they got from a thumb or something.
So you have
got all the DNA code.
You have fused chromosome number 2, which has a useless section where the telomeres join. I'm assuming equidistant from the centromes, and this is evidence that nobody.
It's not really equal distance. It's just on the end.
Okay, and this is evidence that we all came from a rock.
No, it's evidence that there was it's evidence of descent from other animals instead of being designed from scratch intelligently, like boom, here's a brand new design. I mean, according to your theory, there were no humans, and all of a sudden, boom, God made humans. So it's like, if they're made from scratch, he didn't have to worry about cobbling things together from other creatures.
Okay, and you're saying orangutans and chimpanzees do not have this fused chromosome?
Right.
But yet they are related to us.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Because we can see the chromosome chromosomes they have, and we can see how those got smudged together to create our number 2. Our number 2 is like their 2A and 2B or so.
And
if you put two of those together, you can see how ours is.
yeah. And so if I discover
because it got smudged together, it's got the vestigial telomeres and centromere in there because there's no points for those.
Okay, my argument would be very simple. We don't know when this happened. It was just discovered in the last 25 or 30 years. We don't know when it happened. The fact that some animals don't have it, we don't know that it's useless. I think it'd be fair to say we currently don't know the use of it, but it may be indeed. I'm not saying it's not useless. It may indeed be, but then again, could be something broken, like the air conditioner on the car that quit working after 20 years after the car was built. That's an example of degradation, not evolution. I don't see how you can possibly see that as evidence for evolution. I'm really lost here.
Okay. Can we leave it there and go on to the next topic?
Sure.
We're running a little over time. Okay. I know it's a little bit frustrating because we can't really dig deep down in anything, but it's just